And I think there's a step before that type of type 4 luck, which is just
Hmm.
genuine passion for the topic.
Mm.
Like you have to have a genuine like intellectual um, curiosity and passion for whatever it is that you're studying in order to have those like novel ideas that you then translate into a blog post. But like even starting from when my childhood, like I grew up very online. I was always on these consumer platforms, these UGC platforms, creating content on the internet. I was blogging throughout my preteen and teenage years, and throughout college I had multiple Tumblrs and live journals and all of that. Like I had been primed to think about consumer software and the future of like content creation on the internet from such a young age, and I was just
Mm.
genuinely so passionate about it because I saw myself in it. And I really, really wanted to find a way for people to monetize that passion. So I think, yeah, just like it sounds cheesy, but like I just advise people to follow their passions and to have this like intuitive sense of always thinking about what gives them energy. Because if
Mm.
they're working on something that gives them energy and that they're truly in love with, that they feel like is their life's work, they are going to excel at that. And they're going to have insights beyond what other people can have.
The way I always think about this is so the whole like, follow your passion, follow your energy. I always personally found it as like it felt abstract to me and I didn't really know what that meant. And the thing when it clicked for me was the idea of um, what feels easy to you. Like when you're doing it, what just feels so easy and like you're in flow. And for you, that was engaging in these digital communities. It was playing games like Neopets. It was writing. It was, all of those things you were doing. They felt very easy. And so you did them and you built a passion around them. And you did the sort of like janky early version of your later things that you were exceptional at throughout your whole life. And like I found that to be a common thread, by the way, among extremely successful people. They like built the, version 1.0 of their thing accidentally prior to doing the real one. Like Tim Urban, I had on the podcast a couple months ago. He writes Wait But Why, which is like
Mm-hmm.
arguably the most popular blog in the world. And before he launched that, he had this like weird email thing that he would send to like 100 friends that basically said what he did during the course of the day. And he did it for years. Like he would just say, oh yeah, here's what I did today. And it was like a few bullets. And it just struck me that like everyone that goes and does something exceptional had the like kind of yucky skeleton type version of that just because it felt easy to them and natural. So I do think it's like a call to arms for a lot of people out there. If you're trying to figure out what your thing is, think about what feels fluid, like what just feels effortless to you when you're doing it. Maybe that's playing video games, by the way, like and for you like Neopets, maybe that felt effortless. And there is, in this new world that we live in, a path within any of those worlds for you to go and monetize and make money and do things.
Yeah, plus one. I agree with all of
And
that.
consistency. Like
Yeah.
Sahil, like how many threads have you written since 2020 consistently?
Too many.
No,
I
it's
mean, one a
hundreds,
week.
right? One
One
a
a week.
week,
Yeah.
one a week,
Yeah.
every
One a
single
week
week.
for 2 years.
We
Yeah.
have a
And
friend.
newsletter pieces, like 2 newsletters a week for 2 years. I mean, a year and a half now.
We have a friend, Justin Welsh, and he had a tweet that went viral the other day, which I thought was really good. And he wrote, "My social media strategy: tweets 2 times per day, threads 1 time per week, LinkedIn posts 2 times per day, weekly newsletter 1 time per week. Then each day I spend about 45 minutes interacting with my audience. Do this for 6 months and watch what happens."
Wow.
Yeah,
Like,
this is like so. So I think there's two sides to this, by the way. Like I love Justin. I think it's amazing. I think there's like the tactician, which is that. Like I think Justin's a tactician. I think he's amazing, and he's like doing a great job of building a life and a career and businesses for himself around the internet by doing this, by like having that consistency and just like he basically has a blueprint and he follows it. He knows it works and he'll replicate it. Then you have the like I don't know, the artist, which is like the person like a Tim Urban, frankly, who just like writes, he might write one blog post every 3 months, but when it comes out, it's going to be like, it's going to change your world because he just sits around thinking and writing all the time. And like his business model is very different. I wouldn't say one is better or worse. But it's interesting to see like these different kind of ends of the spectrum of doing this. especially, I mean, it all ties to the passion economy, right? It all ties to the stuff that you've been writing and talking about. But it is fascinating, like the intensity model versus the consistency model, and then kind of where they blend in the middle of the hybrid. um
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
it's
definitely
super
more
super
on
super
the Tim
interesting.
Urban side of the spectrum. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not consistent at all. I
yeah.
call my newsletter an aspirationally weekly newsletter, or maybe it's aspirationally
I like
monthly.
that.
Monthly, I don't even know what cadence I said I wanted to
Yeah,
do, but it basically comes out whenever I have some insight or something to share that
yeah.
crosses a bar.
It
That's me
is
too.
very hard. Yeah, I mean, Greg, you do the same
Same
thing,
thing.
and like I think it's very hard. Julian Shapiro, our friend Greg, who Lee, you may have read some of his stuff before. Also an awesome internet writer and thinker. He's talked about this in the past. Like it's really hard to send an insight-rich newsletter once a week. And the people that do it, like Ben Thompson, I like bow down to the fact that that guy can every single day churn out an insight-rich piece of writing is insane to me. Like Packy once a week,
Yeah.
Mario, same thing. Like it's pretty remarkable, I think. And those are like unicorns in my mind. I think most of us can't really do that. It's just very, very difficult. So it's interesting to like see those different models of what works within this economy and world.